Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. I'm currently sitting out in the garage and I'm editing this video, and I've come to realize yet again, I don't know what the reason for this is, but on this first half of this video, the audio completely trashed. Couldn't make out any of it. So what I'll do is I'll try my best to explain what I'm doing on a voiceover, and just kind of point you in the direction of what I was doing, what I was getting into. Since obviously I recorded this video some days ago, I can't even remember exactly what I'd said, but I'll do my best to point it out to you and show you. So let's get into this video, and thanks for coming to watch, guys. Alright guys, so here we are with the 9-inch rear end, and I've got these spring perches here tacked in place. I've got to get this up on the workbench, do some cleaning, try and clean up all the scaling stuff on the rear end before I can go through and final sand these brackets onto the axle tubes. And then once I get all these welded in place all the way around, I can go through and I can prep this and get the center section all taped up, and then I can go through, tape up the ends, the axle flanges, and I can go ahead and paint all the axle tubes and everything that I just fresh welded. And we'll get this up on the bench, and we'll try and get this all welded up. Alright, so here you can see gone around multiple places on these shackle or the leaf perches here and tacked them in 5 or 6 places. Try and keep the heat down and make sure nothing bends from the heat or anything like that. So I'm just going through, and I've slowly preheated the axle tube a little bit to try and help dissipate the heat and make sure that I don't overheat one particular area too much too fast. And I did the same on this side here as well. And I'll just go through, keep everything heated, try and keep everything at a similar temperature, and then I'll go back through and I'll do some final welding and try and weld all the edges up and make sure I get a good penetration all the way around, and just get back to it and try and get all this welded up. And right now, it's probably about this point, I'm gonna walk over here and tell you how awesome this truck is, and how fast it's gonna be. And, it's gonna be a leaf spring truck, and it's probably gonna go so fast that the rust is just gonna fly off this thing. It's gonna pull like 7,000 G's, and I just can't contain the excitement. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying in this part, but and probably telling you how awesome this rear end is. Here you can see I've got everything finished welded. I've gone through and pretty much just finished welding everything the way I wanted it, telling you how I kept everything preheated and tried to cool the axle tube down as evenly as possible. And now we're going to get it over here, and I got axle tubes, got everything prepped and ready. I decided to not tape up the axle flanges, but I'm just going to go ahead and put some paint on it. Alright, so I got the rear end set back up in here. I got my U-bolts started. I've actually got to take these back off because they're just a little too short with these thick plates on it, and then the added thickness of the housing itself. So I'm running a little short on my U-bolts here. So I went and bought some new U-bolts. I'm gonna get those cut because they're a little too long. So I think they're like 10¼ inches long, which is just a little excessive. They're meant for like big drop blocks and stuff like that. So as you can see here, they're quite a bit longer. So I'm gonna cut them down. I made a little mark with a paint marker. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room. They could be a little bit shorter than where I'm at, but like I said, I'll give myself a little bit of extra room there. Make sure I get the nut and washer and all that stuff, plenty of room. But I'm gonna get these set in the chop saw here and cut these down, and then we're gonna try and bolt the rear end in it. Hopefully try and get the third member put in it, and then the axles in it, and start putting the brakes and stuff on it. Maybe I can get this thing semi buttoned up today. So we'll get to that and start chopping away. All right, guys. So I got those cut off. They're not very straight, but what I do is, if you can tell, I got both these nuts on here. So I do that. So I'm gonna go through and clean up around the base. Where's my other grinder? I'm losing my mind here. I'm pretty sure it's here in front of me. Oh, underneath my rag, duh. But I'm gonna use my grinder here, and I'm gonna go around and kind of more or less chamfer the edge of this, just to take this sharp edge here from where I cut off of this up on the top and the bottom. So I'll just chamfer the edge of this a little bit, and then I'll take it over to the wire wheel, and then take the wire wheel to it and basically chase the threads with the wire wheel around it, and then I'll pull the nut off, and the nut should straighten out the threads if there's any burrs or anything on it. So I gotta jump start it. It's fine. Restless every time we start locking as lost control. It's All right, so now I should be able to unthread this. I don't know if you can see that. Unthread this. Look at that. Perfecto. Perfecto. And the last one I didn't do it exactly this way. I did it with the chop saw and it messed the threads up a little bit worse, but this one worked a lot better. I was trying to make it fast, but I needed it to be more effective than fast. So anyways, I got 2 more here to mark the length, cut them down, and I'll get them bolted up on the truck, and we'll get this rear end buttoned up, or at least get it bolted in anyhow. So we'll get to that.
Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes.
All right, so I got the cow tracks bolted up. I had to take this little bracket here off that clamps down on it basically holds the leaves together. I'm going to try and figure out something there because I want to put that back in there. I don't want the leaves separating there. And then this lower leaf, like the helper leaf here, is actually hitting the bar, which I'm not fond of. So I don't know. Part of me feels like, you know, these don't really fit quite like I want them to. You know, with a stock leaf, I mean with a mono leaf, I'm sure it would be fine, but I think they maybe need to put a little bit more consideration in these on pickup trucks. But maybe once I get the weight down on it, maybe it'll look a little different. I went ahead and left these cheap shocks in just for now, just so I can get it all bolted together. And I may end up just leaving those in for street driving and then putting the adjustable ones in the back, you know, when I go to the racetrack or something. But anyways, I'm gonna try and get the third member in it, get the axles in it, and then just start working on getting the brakes put together. And hopefully we can get this thing all buttoned up and sorted back together to where I can get it on the ground and get it moving under its own power again. So we get this third member up inside there, get it all sealed up and tightened up, and then we'll start getting the axles put in it. All right, so I got the third member all bolted down inside of it. Got the axles in, which they're not bolted up, but everything's in. The third member is in and bolted down. Got the drive shaft bolted in it. I don't know if you can see that since it's so dark up there. But yeah, ideally this drive shaft's probably not the strongest thing for this truck, but it's what I had made, it's what I got, it still works, so we're gonna use it. I'm gonna go through and grease all the joints and all that stuff, and then I still gotta put fluid in the rear end, but I'm not gonna do that until I get the brakes and everything sorted out, and then start doing all that. But got the cow tracks all bolted in. We'll have some adjustment to do on them, and then I still got to tighten up. I don't know if you can see up here. Where's it at? Right here. This spring bolt here, and then this rear shackle bolt here I left loose. I won't tighten those up until I get the weight of the truck down on the ground, and then I'll tighten those bushings, or tighten the bolts up in those bushings. Ideally that's how you want to do it, with the weight on it, because you don't want to, you know, tighten all those bolts up where something moves, because if you tighten it up now with the weight hanging and then you set the weight down on it, then you're already putting tension on that bushing and it'll wear out faster, and it's just not ideal. But anyways, rear end's in it, looks pretty good. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep following along. Next thing we're gonna get going on with this is getting the brakes installed and It's a bolt-on 9-inch brake conversion, like disc brake conversion. So we'll do a video of an install on how to bolt all that together, and then we'll probably actually do a video. Actually, it'll probably all be on the same video, but we'll have to go through and bleed the brakes. And my buddy Josh at Finishing Lines always has issues with people bleeding brakes, so we're just going to run through that and show you basically the best way to do it, and in our opinion, and we'll let him use that for some installation video or something like that. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Keep following along. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.